Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and a lot of people are asking me questions about this whole metabolic advantage component to ketogenic diets, if calories matter, if calories in, calories out still matter on them. And it's kind of funny, people will also point out, well Jason, there's contradictions. You said before you don't like ketogenic diets, why are you doing one? And people forget I've done them several times, and I had said when I first started talking on YouTube that I've lost over 50 pounds before while doing ketogenic diets. I don't like them. You can dislike something while admitting that it's effective for you personally. Just like I can also admit that having been given morphine by a doctor in a hospital before, that morphine is very effective for reducing my pain. I don't like morphine and I don't like some of the effects of it, but it is very, very effective. So understand the difference. Ketogenic diets are oftentimes a medical type approach to things, and they're not always without certain potential negatives to you for different people. And so I don't like ketogenic diets, but I admit that they work for me, and that is the difference. Now, as far as the metabolic advantage thing, subject to debate. I know Dr. Eads over a decade ago really pushed all this stuff out and talked about, oh, you could burn up to 300 extra calories a day on this type of diet by excreting unburned ketones, so you're excreting calories out that are unburned from dietary fat and from body fat potentially. That has been largely unproven, and the data is conflicting on this. A lot of the data shows no metabolic advantage, zero. The only exception really seems to be people who are obese and insulin resistant do seem to get a small metabolic advantage out of this type of diet. But once people get out of that phase, they seem to lose that advantage. And this is still being studied and looked at, but there's a lot of controversy on this. So that being said, I would not count on such a diet to give you a metabolic advantage. So what are the advantages that it gives you? Well, they're largely psychological, at least for me personally. And the thing to remember is that dieting and cutting and fat loss are purely a product of net calories in, calories out. It is that simple. However, we are emotional eaters. We have hormones in our body and psychological responses to our food as sentient feeling beings. We're not just emotionless computers. We have emotional attachments to food, emotional attachments to appetite as a species. So until you find ways to get around all the psychological components to these things, it can be problematic to just stay in a calorie deficit for people, believe it or not, particularly when various hormones start kicking in that make you hungry. So there's a psychological component. Now for me, they're multifold. Number one of the things that bugs me and messes with me tremendously when I'm on higher carbs and I'm trying to cut, I can lose weight and lose fat doing that. I can, I've done it. However, because the scale goes down so slowly, because I tend to hold a lot of extra intramuscular water, I tend to feel like I'm not making progress. That makes me less motivated to adhere to my diet in the long term, which is problematic. Whereas when I do the ketogenic diet, I'm just swooshing down, because right now I'm down to 209 pounds. And let's keep in mind, after nationals, my weight went back up to 238. So that's 29 pounds difference right now. So 108 kilos down to 95. Now the side effect of that is, of course, I'm losing water. I'm losing intramuscular water. My arms and everything are just shrinking down until I get some carbs back in me. But I have to live with that. But the thing is, because I see the scale just continually going down, it keeps me motivated, because I'm like, oh wow, I can see the numbers. And I see the numbers and I stay motivated and say, yeah, I'm going to stick this out. I can do this. Whereas if it had only dropped a little bit, I would be like, damn, this sucks. I'm putting myself through all this for nothing. So it is that psychological component. When you see results, you want to keep going. And then there's the appetite end of it. I find that because I love carbs, I tend to eat tons of carbs, that even when I'm eating higher fiber foods, I will just eat and eat and eat. And I have that tendency to overeat them if I'm not careful. Even when it's things like fruit, because you guys have seen me sit down and eat like 25 bananas in one sitting on video before, and then get up and go eat another meal later. You know, that's 2,500 calories of carbs in one sitting, and then I'm ready to eat another meal in an hour. And that's unrefined, fibrous, bulky foods. So for me, the issue is not that I can't eat 10,000 calories of ketogenic food, just that I don't want to. So what will happen for me, I can eat 500 calories in the morning and look up and realize that it gets to be 2 o'clock before I'm hungry. Oh, I need to eat something. It's 2 o'clock. I didn't get hungry. and go eat a 1,000-calorie meal and then realize by the time it's 8:30 or 9 o'clock that I've only had 1,500 calories that day, and I probably should go eat another 1,000 calories or so to hit 2,500. My maintenance is over 3,000. So it's things like that that I just forget about food. I'm not saying I don't have days where I get hungry and eat more, but a lot of times I will go through the whole day on this type of diet before my appetite actually kicks in. And that's a fantastic tool because it ends up leaving me a lot of food to eat at night. It can roll around at 8 o'clock at night and I'm still way below the food I should be taking in even on a cut. And so then I eat a big meal and go to bed. For me, there is that appetite component, the fact that it delays my hunger. And sometimes, some days I do get really hungry, but I have multiple days, sometimes 2 or 3 days in a row where something happens like I just described, and I realize I've only had 1,200 or 1,500 calories at 8:30 at night. Because I just didn't get hungry and I didn't bother to eat other than a little light snacking. So for me, those are the reasons I do it. I wouldn't rely upon a metabolic advantage because it's unreliable. It's not completely proven, subject to a lot of controversy. I wouldn't count on it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh, Mount Vesuvius.